5.4.
Let's talk.
Live on TFM and the TFM Facebook page. This is the live feed of TTV. Let's talk.
Hello and welcome to The Outline. These are the top headlines from our newsroom today. New dress code for visitors in malls and public places. Oman's role in enhancing regional stability hailed. Sri Lanka Embassy in Oman repatriates 290 nationals from Muscat to Colombo. 50,000 more expats leave Oman in August. Be wary of those practicing mass begging in the country, according to the Ministry of Social Development. CDC forecasts up to 218,000 COVID-19 deaths in US by October 10th. People should not assume coronavirus will behave like other viruses, according to UK experts. These were the top headlines from our newsroom today. Let's see how the weather in the country looks like today in our weather update.
This is Anthra Bose with your daily dose of weather. I'm standing outside the TFM studio in Al Quair and it feels like a warm and sunny day. We've got more weather coming up, but first the tip. Today we're talking about exfoliation. Our bodies shed a lot of dead skin cells without us even knowing. But if we don't get rid of it, it's going to continue to make our skin look dull and dry, no matter how much lotion we use. So grab your favorite body scrub and remember to exfoliate at least 2 or 3 times a week. With that, let's step inside the studio and talk a little bit more about weather. Oman Meteorology, or Public Authority for Civil Aviation, have issued an alert indicating there will be a reduction in horizontal visibility during fog. Apart from this, the rest of the Sultanate will see clear skies with the possibility of late night to early morning low-level cloud formation and fog patches along the Arabian Sea coastline. With that, let's take a look at what the temperatures are like in the rest of the governorates. Muscat will be sunny with temperatures between 39 degrees Celsius to 28 degrees Celsius. Musandam will be sunny with temperatures between 41 to 28 degrees Celsius. North Al Batana will be sunny with temperatures between 35 degrees Celsius to 29 degrees Celsius. And South Al Batana will also be sunny with temperatures between 40 to 30 degrees Celsius. Al Buremi will be sunny with temperatures between 43 degrees Celsius to 29 degrees Celsius. Al Dahira will be sunny with temperatures between 44 degrees Celsius and 27 degrees Celsius. Al Dakhlia will be sunny with temperatures between 41 to 27 degrees Celsius. North Al Sharqiya will be sunny with temperatures between 42 degrees Celsius to 27 degrees Celsius. And South Al Sharqiya will also be sunny with temperatures between 37 to 27 degrees Celsius. Al Wusta will be sunny with temperatures between 41 to 23 degrees Celsius, and Dhofar will also be sunny with temperatures between 31 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq. You order, we deliver.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Outline. Now from a local desk. People entering malls in Muscat wearing sleeveless shirts and shorts could face fines up to Omani Riyal 300 and jail term of up to 3 months as part of new rules drawn up for people to dress modestly while in public. The rules, which apply to both men and women, were drawn up by the city's municipal committee and submitted to the municipal council, which will submit it to the Minister of the Diwan of Royal Court for approval. Speaking exclusively to the Times of Oman, Qais bin Muhammad Al-Mashari, the chairman of the Public Affairs Committee of the Municipal Council in the Governorate of Muscat, said that the terms of dressing modestly have not been specified in great detail, but most include covering the body from the shoulder to below the knee. This clothing must not violate the terms of modesty by ensuring it properly covers the required parts of the body, should not be revealing, and not having any sensitive drawings or illustrations on them. Wearing a veil, however, is not included in the concept of dressing modestly because of the multiculturalism, ideologies, and religious tolerance in the Sultanate of Oman. The rules will be the same for residents in the country as they are for Omanis, explained Al-Mashari. He also continued saying that we need to make sure that the clothes worn do not breach the etiquettes of modesty. Therefore, this decision will include everyone without discrimination. As part of this decision, males and females will not be allowed to wear shorts above the knee as well as sleeveless shirt that expose the chest and shoulders. The rules requiring people to dress modestly were drafted after the municipal committees in the capital, as well as mall managers and shop owners, received many complaints from members of the public about people not following proper dress codes. According to Article 294 of the Omani Penal Code, which was issued by Royal Decree Number 7/2018, those who appear in public places in a manner that violates public decency and is inconsistent with the traditions and customs of society will face punishment by imprisonment of a period of between 1 and 3 months and or a fine ranging from 100 to 300 Omani riyals. We relied on the Omani Penal Code with regards to imposing penalties for those found violating these rules, Al-Mashari said. He also said that the Penal Code states that ministers do not have special legislation on this subject as the matter relates to public morals. The committee's recommendations have been submitted to the Municipal Council for its next meeting in October 2020. After this, the Council will submit this to the Minister of the Diwan of the Royal Court, and once approved, it will be considered a law, and those affected by it are addressed accordingly, explained Al-Mashari. The Washington Institute, in its report, praised the role played by the Sultanate of Oman in promoting regional stability and security, which is important for both Britain and the United States. The report also emphasized the importance of bilateral relations between the Sultanate and Britain, noting the need for continued cooperation between the two countries in various fields. Britain is investing heavily on its relationship with Oman for many reasons, including the effectiveness of the Omani mediation in solving many regional problems, the report stated. The report also described the recent visit of British Defence Minister Ben Wallace to the Sultanate as a renewal of a very valuable friendship, stressing the importance of continuing the partnership between the two countries in the light of the challenges posed by the COVID-19 virus and Britain's exit from the European Union. The report stated that the strengthening of cooperation between the two countries come at a time when His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq is making efforts to bring back the Omani economy on the right track and overcome the side effects of the COVID-19 and drop oil prices. Britain supports the Sultanate's policy of tolerance and moderation, the report added. Now recently, the Embassy of Sri Lanka in Oman has repatriated another group of 290 stranded Sri Lankan nationals from Muscat to Colombo by Sri Lankan Airlines in collaboration with the Foreign Ministry, the Presidential Secretariat and Sri Lankan Airlines. The group mainly consists of Sri Lankan nationals who lost their jobs in the aftermath of COVID-19 outbreak, as well as those who completed their employment contracts in the country. Many Sri Lankan female domestic workers who stayed for a long time in the embassy safe house due to the various disputes with their sponsors were also repatriated with the group that were recently dispatched to Sri Lanka. Ambassador of Sri Lanka to the Sultanate of Oman, His Excellency Amir Ajwad, extended his appreciation to the government of the Sultanate of Oman for waiving fees and for fines for expired visas during the lockdown period due to COVID-19 in the country, and also facilitating smooth return of the stranded Sri Lankan nationals back home. Now, to talk more in detail about the repatriation flights, welfare of the community of Sri Lanka based in the Sultanate and COVID-19 in the country, we have a very special guest joining us today in our show. Let's welcome His Excellency Amir Ajwad, the Ambassador of Sri Lanka to Oman. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us in today's episode.
Thank you. Thank you for the Times of Oman for this opportunity.
It's a pleasure to have you, Your Excellency, on our show today. So we were just talking about the repatriation flights of Sri Lankan nationals stranded in Oman, and it says that additional 290 nationals have been repatriated from Muscat to Colombo. Could you please, Your Excellency, tell us how many nationals have been repatriated so far and when exactly the repatriation flights began in Oman to Sri Lanka?
Yes, we in fact started our repatriation flights from last June, and so far we have repatriated more than 870 Sri Lankan nationals from Muscat to Sri Lanka. And we have another group of Sri Lankans, around 290 Sri Lankans are scheduled to leave next week by Oman Air to Sri Lanka. And then by that, I think we will complete more than 1,000 Sri Lankan, stranded Sri Lankans being repatriated. And also, we will arrange more flights in the future for the return of our nationals from Muscat to Sri Lanka.
Your Excellency, you just mentioned that 290 more Sri Lankans have been scheduled for the next week's flight. Besides this group, how many other nationals are still in line or still waiting for the repatriation flight?
Yes, we have still, I think we have recently registered, I think around 1,000 Sri Lankans have still registered with us. And then we are in the process of arranging more flights in the future for repatriate them.
Your Excellency, you just pointed out about the registration process. What exactly is the procedure? How can the Sri Lankan nationals living in the Sultanate of Oman can reach to the embassy and register themselves if they wish to return back to the country?
Yes, we have established a system for this purpose. I think we have been maintaining this system for last many months. And then those who wish to return to Sri Lanka, they can register with the embassy. And we have dedicated email address, and also we have dedicated WhatsApp and IMO numbers for them to register with us. So I think it's on the screen. The number is appearing, and the email address also is there. So then once they register with us, and then they are absorbed to our system, and then we update our list, keep on updating our.
Yes, Your Excellency.
Yes.
Sorry, Your Excellency, we actually lost connection with you in between. Could you please repeat the last sentence after you said updating list?
Yes, we are updating the list. I mean, as and when the people here register with us, and then we will forward that list to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Colombo to arrange repatriation flights in coordination with our special task force, presidential task force established by His Excellency the President of Sri Lanka. So then, once we send the list of people, the presidential secretariat or presidential task force schedule the flights for repatriation.
So, Your Excellency, you just mentioned about the procedure. How long does it usually take for the procedure to take place? For example, if the national has applied at the embassy, how long does it take for them to be notified that the flight are being scheduled or that he has been selected for the flight?
Yeah, well, it's a process. I think we have not only from Oman, we have people coming from all over the world and to Sri Lanka, and then the government has to. One more thing I specifically mentioned here: the government of Sri Lanka arrange this institutionalized quarantine. The government provides accommodation, food, all other facilities free of charge for those who arrive in Sri Lanka from different parts of the world. So we need we have many government maintained quarantine centers. So when the government, of course, the task force will be coordinating with the centers, and then when there is a space, and then we will give priority to those countries who are in a destitute situation. So we may have some delays in arranging flights because of the lack of facility, lack of spaces in those quarantine centers. But we still get flights, scheduled for in future 2 months, and then to make sure the predictability for Sri Lankans to return. But in the recent past, I mean, we have of course two categories of flights we are organizing from Sri Lanka, and one is those people who wish to go to the government maintained quarantine centers. The special flights carry them for those centers. And then the second category, for those who wish to go to hotels to self-finance their quarantine, and then we have designated hotels, and then we arrange separate flights for those who are willing to go for self-finance quarantine centers. So these two categories, we are organizing the flight. So we have so far organized from Oman. I think we have three flights have already left, and also we are organizing the next week another flight by the Oman Airlines will be flying. So we keep on registering people, and we keep on arranging with the government for their repatriation so far.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Now, you just mentioned that, about more than 800 have already been repatriated, and with 290 additional next week, it's going to cross the 1,000 mark. And also, you have additional 1,000 registration at the embassy for the nationals wishing to return back. So, Your Excellency, with about 2,000 people, registered at the embassy, how do you prioritize with the nationals who needs to get on the flight first? What is the process like?
Well, of course, we need to prioritize because the number is big, and then we give priorities to medical emergencies and pregnancy, jobless loss, those who lost their jobs, and also those who had completed their contracts and expiry of their contracts. And these are the priorities that we consider when we prepare a list. And we also we know that there are people who wish to go for holidays, so we also arrange the flights for those people who wish to go. And also we have a system here. We have established a system here to prioritize them on those bases.
Right. So, Your Excellency, we are still in the middle of the COVID-19 situation, not in just Oman, but across the world. In fact, there are some countries who are actually predicting and in between the second wave of the coronavirus pandemic. During this time, what exactly were the initiatives taken by the Embassy of Sri Lanka for the welfare of the community, for the welfare of the nationals in Oman?
Of course, the Sri Lanka embassy in Muscat, of course, have been very proactive from the day one. The COVID-19 pandemic was the spread of or outbreak of COVID-19 was realized, and of course, we have been taking different measures to protect and also to look after our community in the Sultanate. And also with the help of our social community club and also well-wishers of the Sri Lankan community in Oman, we have been distributing a large number of dry rations for those who lost their jobs and they stranded here in Oman, and also I have been issuing or releasing video clips educating them how to take care of them and also to take precautionary measures to protect themselves and also to protect others around around them. So this has been very effective in the past. We have been educating, and also we have been translating the Supreme Committee on COVID-19 of Oman, those decisions taken by the Supreme Committee into our local languages to educate and update our nationals to comply with those decisions. And also the mission also have taken care of our those who are affected by the COVID-19, those our community members, those who are affected by the COVID-19 or suspicious of COVID pandemic. We have been helping them also. We have established a panel of Sri Lankan doctors and a contact some hotline services for those Sri Lankans who have been affected by this pandemic, and they can call them and then get their medical advice and also assistance from them to how to protect themselves. And also we have introduced a kind of an ambulance service for our community members, for those who want to go for testing, and maybe for those who are affected to go to hospitals and all. Then they can make use of the ambulance service of the embassy, and then we have established this in collaboration with the social community club. And also we have established 2 safe houses in the embassy, and for the benefit of those female domestic workers who seek shelter at the embassy especially during this pandemic situation, and they come from different parts of Oman. So then to shelter them during this pandemic situation, we have 2 separate safe houses for that purpose. And also we are maintaining also for a temporary safe house for male migrant workers who lost their jobs and who have no place to stay and all. So these are the measures that we have taken to safeguard, to look after our community. And also we have hotline services, and we have dedicated emails to communicate with them, so to provide our services during this pandemic situation.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I would really like to commend and appreciate all the initiatives and efforts made by the embassy as well as the community club that is in Oman in ensuring the safety and security of the nationals living in the Sultanate. And I absolutely love the idea of actually opening the embassy as a safe house to the domestic help in the country. That is something very different and very unique that the Sri Lankan embassy actually has opted for. How did this idea come up, Your Excellency?
We face some difficulties in accommodating them in a small place, and then maybe these domestic helpers, they are coming from different parts of from Oman, so we don't know who is who and who is infected by the COVID or not. And also we had to have these two initial. We do have some initial tests at the beginning when they arrive at the embassy. So we use these safe houses to isolate them, non-affected or negative and positive cases. So if there are any, so for that purpose we have been maintaining this for last 3-4 months.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Congratulations once again for taking care of the community members in the country, and also for opening the embassy as a safe house to the people who actually needed help in this crucial time. Once again, congratulations on these amazing efforts done by both the embassy and the club in the country. Your embassy, talking about COVID-19, and you just mentioned about, people who actually fell victim to the virus. Were there any nationals, Sri Lankan nationals, who were the victim of the virus?
Of course, not many. Some people were affected by the virus, and then now they are recovering. They have many also recovered, and unfortunately, we lost 2 lives of Sri Lankan nationals in Oman due to COVID pandemic. So, and I take this opportunity to thank, to extend my sincere appreciation and gratitude to His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq and His Majesty's government for taking care of the expatriate communities here in Oman, their healthcare and all. So and the medical care they have provided during this pandemic situation. I really appreciate that gesture.
Thank you, Your Excellency. One last message for the community members out there who are listening to you right now.
During this situation, I think I know many of my community members are willing to return to Sri Lanka for various reasons, including holidays. So, but as I already earlier mentioned, the Sri Lanka government is providing quarantine facilities for 14 days, free of charge accommodation and everything, all facilities. So the people keep on coming from different parts of the world, Sri Lankans to Sri Lanka, and most of them are provided these government quarantine facilities. So there may be some delays in scheduling the flights to return back to Sri Lanka due to these reasons and also the constraints that we face at the quarantine centers. So, but we keep on trying, and we keep on arranging the flights, and then we keep on sending the list to the government, and then the government is very seriously considering to get back all the Sri Lankans who are stranded abroad, and then the government is implementing special procedures, special mechanisms for this purpose, and also we have been. I like to ensure and also assure my community in Oman we will keep on continuing to arrange flights from Oman to return back home, and then I would appeal to my community to be patient and also to safeguard yourself and to safeguard those who are around you, and also to be safe during this very unusual situation. And thank you all my community members for your kind cooperation to the embassy in this regard. I take this opportunity to send my appreciation to my community members, all my community members, and also to His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq, and also His Majesty's government for closely cooperating with us, and also to assist us in the smooth repatriation process to return our expatriates, our community members back home.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. It was an absolute pleasure having you on our show today. It was indeed very informative, and it was very heartfelt discussion with you.
Thank you very much for this opportunity, and all the best.
Thank you. Once again, I would like to remind all the Sri Lankan nationals tuned into our show right now that if they want to get in touch with the embassy for any queries or repatriation flights, they can get in touch with them on their WhatsApp and email number that is flashing on our screen right now, which is 917-44387, or they can also get in touch with them through their email address, which is returntosl@gmail.com. Continuing with our local stories now. Oman's expatriate population dropped by more than 50,000 during the month of August, according to government data. The number of expats in Oman in August was 1,747,844, down from 1,801,739 in July, reflecting a decrease of 53,895 expatriates during this period. The number of Omanis rose from 2,726,195 in July to 2,732,489, and an increase of more than 6,000 locals. The decrease in the number of expats meant that the country's population dropped from 4,527,934 to 4,480,333, a 3.88% decline in population between August 2019 and 2020. All of Oman's 11 governorates reported population decline. Muscat showed the largest percentage drop, which is about 6.2%, with the number of expats dipping from 805,401 in July to 778,387 in August, a decrease of about 27,000 people. The second highest drop was witnessed in the southern governorate of Dhofar, which saw a 5.6% population decrease. Expat number dropped from 207,850 to 202,072 in a month's time. The figures were released in the National Center for Statistics and Information's monthly statistical bulletin for September 2020. The Ministry of Social Development in the Sultanate has asked people to be wary of those practicing mass begging in the country and to report such incidents to the authorities concerned. Speaking on the various forms of begging, people need to be on the lookout for Muhammad bin Saif al-Mamri, the Director of Social Development in the Sultanate and Vilayat of Muscat, and the supervisor of the region's anti-begging team said. He quoted that there are several forms of begging, including direct begging, which is outright begging, in which the beggar asks for money while repeating certain phrases to arouse the emotions of people. While the second type of begging is called masked begging, which is when the beggar hides behind simple services he provides to people, and this includes inviting them to buy some commodities such as tissues, water bottles, groceries, or attempting them to sell something at the traffic light signals. He continued saying that, quoting him here, there is also seasonal begging, where begging occurs only during particular festive occasions or seasons, such during the holidays or Ramadan or other holiday seasons in the country. There is also a practice called occasional begging, which is when some has to beg due to an emergency or urgent need that befalls a person, as well as the concept of a person begging despite being able, which is begging practiced by a person who is able to work and earn, but who prefers getting money through begging. According to Article 297 of the Omani Penal Code, a person found begging in mosques, public places, or shops will be imprisoned for a period between a month, a year, or even fined ranging from 50 to 100 Omani riyals. The courts have the right to confiscate the money obtained through begging, and those who return to begging will face a prison sentence between 6 months and 2 years. Foreign nationals caught begging could face deportation. However, those who beg because they have no other alternative, according to Al-Mamri, shall be exempt from this punishment. Those who use juveniles to help them beg will face a prison sentence of between 3 months and 3 years, as well as fine ranging from 50 to 100 Omani riyals. The penalty is doubled if the person using a juvenile to help him beg is his or her guardian or someone else charged with the child's care. It's time for a quick commercial break, but stay tuned as we have more updates coming your way from our international desk.
Oman's largest online supermarket now has no minimum order limit. From grocery to household items, Rafiq has everything that you want. Enjoy worry-free shopping with over 8,000 products to choose from and get it delivered straight to your doorstep. Rafiq, you order, we deliver.
Welcome back to TTV. You're watching Outline. And now from our international desk. A new ensemble forecast published by the U.S. Centers known for Disease Control and Prevention, in the short form called CDC, projects up to 218,000 COVID-19 deaths in the U.S. by October 10, 2020. The new National Ensemble forecast predicts that 3,000 to 7,100 new COVID-19 deaths will likely be reported during the week ending by October 10th. And a total of 207,000 to 218,000 COVID-19 deaths will be reported by that date. According to the projection posted on the CDC website on Thursday, quoting them, the state and territory level ensemble forecasts predict that over the next 4 weeks, the number of newly reported deaths per week may decrease in 6 jurisdictions. Trends in number of future and further reported deaths are uncertain or predicted to remain stable in the other states and territories, said the prediction report. The number of COVID-19 cases in the United States topped 6.7 million as of Saturday evening, with more than 199,200 deaths, according to a tally by Johns Hopkins University. Now, since the outbreak of COVID-19 in Britain, experts have raised concerns over how the coronavirus will impact the life of people in the country. According to Professor Andrew Easton at the University of Warwick, it is still unknown how exactly the coronavirus will behave and what that may look like for Britain. One thing he said is known, however, is that other common winter viruses around colds and flus will be confused with the coronavirus. He said that, quoting him here, "That will make assessment difficult. If somebody presents with a flu, you wouldn't normally tell them to go and isolate for 14 days. There's going to be an increase in a number of people with the other respiratory diseases. It will make assessing COVID-19 difficult." Now, due to a recent rise in confirmed coronavirus cases, the British government has strengthened infection prevention by implementing a number of restrictive measures in some areas. On Monday, in fact, the rule of 6 replaced the previous guidance on social gatherings in England. The move came at a time when countries like Britain, China, Russia, and the United States are racing against time to develop coronavirus vaccines. Asking people to change their behavior is the hardest thing to do, according to Easton. He said that my concern here is understanding fully exactly why those numbers, the rule of 6, have been chosen and the way what has been done, because it's slightly different in different parts of the country. So it is a worry that it may not be adequate. The rise in coronavirus cases has concerned Easton, but with a relaxation in restrictions and people allowed once again to interact, it comes as no surprise to him. In fact, Easton noted that it will take time to bring down the crisis cases again in the country. The concept of a second wave of infection is problematic because Britain hasn't ever got the level of infection down to a low level, and it says it has always been there, according to Easton. This principle of a second wave has come because people are making assumptions. He said that, adding that people are too focused on using data from the 1918 flu pandemic and other virus infections to predict the trajectory of the COVID-19 pandemic. He said that, quoting him here once again, "In the case of the 1918 pandemic, the incidence of disease declined very rapidly and went very low. And then there really was a genuine second wave in the country. The situation we are now in is slightly different," he noted. Well, with this, we have come to the end of the show for today, and these were the top headlines and latest news from our local and international desk your way. Stay tuned for more updates as we'll be back tomorrow again, same time at 2 p.m. with more updates from both international and local desks. Stay tuned and keep watching TTV.
You've just heard the live feed from the TTV studios on TFM 95.4.